Hello. I'm gonna make fun today. I'm a bit bald.
I've got someone.
How is it going, guys? Happy
Hump
day. Happy hump day. Happy Wednesday. Today we are gonna finish our live from last week, which was about how to create the perfect workout. And this is because too many people go to the gym and wing it. I'm just gonna check. Is the microphone plugged in? Can anyone hear us? Can anybody hear us? Sam, can you hear us, please, love? Da, da, da. We'll just wait here until someone. Hey, Holly. Yes. Thank you, guys. Right. Yes. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about today the second part of last week's workout. Live. If you didn't see it, then definitely go back and watch it. You need to watch the first one before you can watch this. Oh, you can watch this, but definitely the first one you need to implement. Don't just do these ones, okay? Look, Cam, you come in. People like to see your face, Cam.
I can't fit in anymore. You've got such a big chair.
He's lucky said chair there, and not anything else. Rightio. So today, let's just jump straight in, Cam.
Okay. So, what did we talk about last week? We went through what splits you should be doing and what you should be doing per workout. So, if you need to catch up on that, then obviously go back to part one. That's going to start building up the foundations of your workout. Obviously, how many days can you do, and then that'll decide what splits you should be doing and generally what muscle groups you're going to be doing per day. Then obviously we get down to each workout. Now that you know what you're working, you've got certain protocols to follow. Generally, like everything's a guideline. If you do one less or one more, it's not a deal breaker. You're still probably going to get results. But having consistency and structure through most things will always lead us to results. Do you think? So the next two we've got per week, and then what we're going to focus on. So to have a balanced workout plan and balanced structured plan. So per week, we're going to just jump into it. So we want to work most major muscle groups at least 1 to twice a week. Once, obviously, as a minimum, going into twice as what we'll program for most people is to hit most major muscle groups twice per week to get enough volume in. And like we always say, more doesn't equal better, because most people can't recover from most of their workout. So either end, I feel. They're either doing so much that they can't, so they can work out 7 times a week. Whereas if you're working at the correct intensity, following some of these protocols, you should need a rest day. Like, that's the most important thing. Have we been lagging?
Yeah, I think we still are. That was a close up. Yeah, we are.
Yeah. I don't think so, are we? I don't know.
Oh, maybe my eyes are just slower than my ears.
Slower than my ears.
We broke up a little. It's because he annoyed me so much. It has to be done.
So the first thing is we want to be working most major muscle groups twice a week. Maybe the more advanced you get, you can probably get away with it doing once a week, but you'd have to be training with a good intensity and know exactly what you're doing. The second thing is lagging body parts.
Hang on. Can we talk about major muscle groups?
The chest.
So chest, back, legs, shoulders, and then biceps and triceps. And sometimes you will break. Yeah, we're still lagging. That's really annoying. Sometimes you will break the legs down as well to quads or glutes and hamstrings. But generally, most people aren't that advanced, so just like legs, it's fine.
So this is another one we need to get some, what do you call it? Participation in lagging body parts. Boggy parts?
What body parts are boggy?
So what body part do you want to work on the most? What body part do you hate that you want to improve?
Do not say belly. I don't want to see one person say belly in there because I'm going to lose my shit.
So who has lagging body parts like biceps, like your arms, your bingo wings, your triceps,
Shoulders,
your legs, shoulders,
glutes,
your back, your glutes, your calves.
Calves if you're a man, and calf if you can. And that's the other thing. Like maybe one of your sides is lagging and not the other side.
Yeah, I guess we can call. Okay, we'll do an extra one for 30. Lagging body parts or imbalances.
Mm-hmm. My left shoulder is definitely smaller than my right.
I don't have any.
Back. I was thinking earlier that when girls get into lifting back, they're like, I just want to fucking bang back. Like that is the goal. But when you start, no one's like, I really want my sexy back. They're just like, I want to get rid of my belly. That's how it goes, isn't it? Tightness in hamstrings, calves, etc. I think because I'm always on my feet. And maybe this is why I have PF. Refrigerator back. What's that mean?
He said a wide back. Come on, you must.
No.
That's what you want. You want a refrigerator.
I've never heard that before.
Is that American?
Arms. Cool. Oh, plantar fasciitis.
Fasciitis.
Plantar fasciitis. Yes.
You can definitely push it towards that.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so that is definitely lagging body parts and imbalances. So we can obviously add a little bit more volume, depending on what it is, onto like your weekly / monthly program. So if you're working most major muscle groups once to twice a week, we can include an extra odd 1 or 2 exercises to bring up the volume of that lagging body part or imbalance. As an example, for me, I wanted to bring up my arms because in the first half of me always training, I never really did arms. I just always never did them because it didn't help me in my sport for boxing. But now recently, because I've come to do photo shoots, it looks more aesthetically better. So that's what I've been doing. So I would add arms onto the start of my leg days. So I'd have them in my push pull days. So that's twice a week. I've already hit them. So now I'm going to have 1 extra day to bump up the volume to make sure we are challenging it and it's getting the best we can. So I put it on the start of my leg day. So I'd have the full energy to put into it.
But what I will say is that's fine with arms. But if you're doing something like legs, it's not such a good idea.
Put legs on top of legs?
Well, no. But I mean like doing legs, adding in more and more legs.
Yeah, like it's already accounted for. If you're trying to do glutes, it's already accounted for in like your 2 leg days.
Yeah.
Then you would account it into a day where it isn't, because then you're just adding on volume and volume and volume. We want to hit it like 3 times within a week with a gap in between it.
Yeah, that's the thing. You need to recover between each session, because otherwise I could just do legs every day. I'll go and do legs. 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 So I'll go do legs. Because more is more. But that's what we're trying to say as well. It's not always more. So you have to be careful. Because biceps and triceps are small in comparison to like your back, your glutes, well, your back, your legs, and your chest, the bigger muscle groups will be able to handle more stress during a workout, but they take longer to recover. Okay, so that's why we've got to be really careful with how we program, and it's why people don't get good results, because they think, oh, I'll just do more then, and they don't understand like the nitty gritty, the technicalities between.
Sort of like we talked about last time, and there's a thing called junk volume. So there's only so much you can do to initiate the process of rebuilding and repairing tissue. Once we go past that threshold, you're not getting any more benefit out of that exercise. It's a little bit like protein. Once we're having like 30-ish grams past what we need to start promoting like that action, having more doesn't mean you're going to build more muscle. It's just down to personal preference and maybe enjoyment. So it comes back to the similar to like exercises. Once you've done a good amount of work and sets, so if you've done enough, say 2 to 4 work and sets per exercise, or 3 to 6 work and sets per muscle group, that workout, if we suddenly then go do 8, 9, 10, you're probably just making yourself more fatigued, more tired, rather than building more muscle. So you actually slow the process down, because you take longer to recover.
Yeah, and then that's the difference between muscle atrophy and muscle hypertrophy. Okay, so lagging body parts. There we go. 10 to 15 working sets per muscle group, but this is obviously going to depend on age, gender to an extent, experience, trainage, and how intensely you train, which is kind of what we're just touching on, right? So if you were going to do 10, let's say 10 because it's nice and easy, 10 working sets, okay? Maybe on legs, maybe you would do 3 sets. Let's do 12, actually, because it's easier. Maybe do 3 sets of
glutes.
Hip thrusts for glutes, and then you would do 3 sets of leg press for quads. That's 6 already. And then 2 days later, maybe you would do 3 sets of remaining deadlifts, so hamstrings and glutes, and then you do 3 sets of hack squats for quads. That's your 6 main ones put across, the 4 main ones put across 3 sets of each. So that's 12 times. Then maybe you'll do like the accessories or some single leg stuff. But you need to kind of know why you're doing all of them as well, isn't it? Like you can't just be like, I'll just do some more.
Yeah, so that can be like the examples, like 10 to 15 working sets per muscle group. Again, if you do 8, you can still grow as much muscle. It's not like it's a dead set range. It's just a rough, and it has a massive variance. But like Faye said, you've got, if you did hip thrust for 3 sets, and then you did glute kickbacks, so then you've got 6 sets done there. I mean, you can count it as 9 because you're doing obviously 6 total sets by 3 each leg. So that could be 9. And then you've got that second day, you're doing like your back squat or your high up leg press. Then that will build you into like your 12 set. So it can add up to like 10 to 15 quite easily. And most people aren't too far off it generally when they've got a good split. But that's when it starts to be like, a lot of ladies will see I do like 20 sets a week. And they don't even hit their protein goal or sleep that well. So again, they're actually just fatiguing their muscle. So do the minimal amount of work to get your desired result, whereas you're literally doing way more work and you're not getting any more results. So why would you not just do the minimum?
No one wants that today. There's nothing worse than putting all the effort in and not seeing results. Girls say that all the time. I've been going to the gym for 6 months, 2 years, whatever, but I just look exactly the same. It's been fucking wasting my time. I'm like, yeah. But now you're with us, so you're going to see massive results. Alrighty. So
those are like the 3 main things for like per week. So we've had last time, what should we do and how many days are we doing it? What should you be doing per workout? So you've got exercises, sets, reps, how many reps in the tank should you have left? And then we're going to have per week. So how many major muscle groups should you be hitting? How many times should you be hitting your lagging or imbalanced body parts? And then how many sets should you be aiming to hit per muscle group per week? So that'd be like weekly total volume. So when I go to, I've got my plan. You've got the perfect plan.
Yeah, it's perfect. I know that if I get this done, I'm going to be fucking refrigerator back in no time. So what do we need to focus on when I'm there?
Cool. So we've got, how many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got 6 main focuses. We've got focuses. So the first one is progressive overload, and it's probably the most important.
Who's heard of it? Put a 1 in the comments if you've heard that term, progressive overload. Number 1.
2. A 2 is.
2 is no.
I don't even know what you're on about.
Where's that word?
Progressive 2 for
overload. 1. Fantastic.
You've only seen 1.
2, 1. Someone's ever heard of it. 1.
Then you are the perfect person to be here.
We're gonna drop some knowledge bombs for you, number 2. Whoever put number 2. Alrighty.
So progressive overload is probably the most important thing when it comes to weights. You can be doing all the above and have be within all the guidelines, doing all the right amount of volume of work. But if you're not actually ever challenging yourself, if you're always sitting in what's really comfortable, then what's worth having that like
It's easy.
is easy, or grows within your comfort zone.
Tell the story, Cam, about the horse or the donkey.
I think it's a cow.
Oh, cow.
I can't remember where it originates from. It's like Greek history or even Greek mythology.
It's probably mythology.
It's mythology. But the original story comes from like Milo, who I can't remember what he did. He's just like obviously like a boy, and he'd go from the market into town, and then he'd come back. But he used to do it by carrying his pet calf every day, and obviously every day that would be getting bigger and it'd be growing. But because he did it absolutely pretty much every day, he was very consistent. The cow would be getting bigger, but so was his muscles. His muscles would be like adapting and growing to the adaptation. Obviously, it'd be hard, and then it starts to get easier, and then the cow would get bigger. So by the end of it, apparently by the myth, he could walk to the market, however far that was, with a full weighted cow on his back.
Wow.
And they're big. They're big.
Yeah, so this is like a micro cow.
They don't exist. So he could carry a fully grown cow to the market. So that is the myth. But that's essentially progressive overload. You need to keep providing this stimulus, this signal to the body that you're this crazy person coming into a gym and you're lifting things up, putting them down. And your body's like, great, I can do this. But then you're this other crazy person that starts to put a little bit of weight on. And you're very close to failing all the time. Not all the time, but you're close to failing. You're training and you're challenging your body. So now your body's like sore. It's not strong enough for really what it's doing. So now it needs to build more muscle. It needs to get stronger to make life easy again. So if we do this consistently over time, we will progressively overload the body.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what you need to be doing forever.
Yeah.
Pretty much that is your only goal going into weightlifting.
I think it's funny because people, when they start lifting, they're like, I'm just weak. I was like, yes, you are weak at the minute. And then they say, and lifting is hard. It's heavy. Yes, that's never going to change. It doesn't matter how strong you get. It will always be heavy if you're doing it right. So I go to the gym. I've been lifting for like almost like 10 years or something now. It's still heavy. Do you know why? Because I'm always pushing the weights heavier and heavier and heavier until I'm stuck. And then it's still heavy until I can get the next one, and then it's heavy, heavy, heavy.
I think a good thing to say is like, we'll be on the same weights for months. Basically, the longer that you're trained, after a while, the longer it takes. So at the start, you'll progress really quickly, newbie gains. That's why you can grow muscle within a deficit better than most people, because you're so new to it. You'll gain loads of strength very quickly. But now, like a good example, I've been on Smith machine shoulder press. I was at like 50, 55, on a good day 57, back to 55, 57, 55 for like months and months and months. It's only recently now I've started going into 60 and 65. And it's taken me months to get there. So we just have to stay consistent. And how should we track progressive overload, Faye Chapman?
Write it down. Unless you're one of our clients, in which case use the app.
Uh-huh.
Can I just ask, who says in the comments, I lifted my first weights today, I think I'll feel it in the morning, lol? Who's that? Pop your name there, because we can't see, we just see Facebook user.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. Another thing I'd say is a good thing to remember is relevant or relevance. The weight that you are lifting is relevant to you and like your previous lifting history. It's not relevant to the woman that's maybe 20 kilos heavier than you, and she's been going to the gym for 2 years. She will always be able to lift more than you, and that has nothing to do with your ability or effort.
It's Michelle.
Oh, it's Michelle.
Go on, Michelle.
Go on, Michelle.
She's one of our new clients.
She's definitely going to be sore if she's not done it before.
Yeah, but I'm excited because Michelle's so new, not just to us, but new to lifting. Her weights are just going to go boom, 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 boom. She's going to be getting stronger like every week.
Progress for months and months. Like pretty much every week it's going up. Or some
so
weeks
excited.
It stops.
Oh my god, I love it.
For us, it's really boring. It's
yeah,
like,
really
same weight. Takes ages. I'm not getting any better.
I'm shit. Not getting any stronger. I'm crap. We still have those things in our heads, guys. Like we still say those things to ourselves. Cam calls me hypocrite Faye. I have days when I'm hypocrite Faye, and I'm like to all my clients, don't be negative. Make sure you're patting yourself on the back because you're doing a good job. And then I'm like, I'm shit. Cam's like, hypocrite Faye is back. Yes, she is. Guys, gotta be honest. Like, that's what happens.
So tracking weights and tracking reps is important. And it's a key feature. If you find it boring, there's no way around it. I think it's important to track and measure. Like what gets measured gets managed. And you need to manage your weight that you're lifting to make sure you're progressively overloading your body. It's too easy to people go in and be like, I think I did 15s this week. Last week.
And I think I may have done 12
and then
reps.
And they've actually been doing like 20.
Yeah.
So you've actually been under training.
Yeah.
And you might get sore because you've never done it before, but as soon as you've been doing it for a while and then you never increase, it loses the potency. It's not really a strong signal anymore. The body's happy and comfortable, so it's not really going to improve anymore.
No. So you want to write down, guys, the exercise, how many reps you did. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that kind of thing. What weight? So say I did 5 at 10 kilograms, and then I had a rest, and then I do another set. So that was the first set. Okay, up to a rest is a set. So it's like a bunch of reps, and then I did another 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 this time at 10 because I pushed myself a little bit more, and then I had another rest, and then I did another 8 or 4 or something, wherever 4 at 10. So next week I want to be getting at least 5, 6, and 4. Ideally, I want to get 6, 6, and 4 even. That's still better. So you want to be pushing yourself all the time. Okay, 1 more rep or 1 more kilogram, or even half a kilogram. Just 1 more.
It adds up. And I guess another tip is, even if you're somewhere like you've been lifting for maybe like at least a couple of months, so you're getting into it, bigger jumps aren't always better. This doesn't really make much difference if you jump really quickly to whether you progress, say, at 5 pound increments, no matter what, but you could actually go up by like 15, 20 at some point. You want to be able to just keep it consistent all the way through. But if you jump really quickly, you're going to plateau earlier.
Yeah.
And that's not a problem if you're going to carry on training anyway, but people will fall off because of that. Yeah. So they get really greedy really quickly, and they put on literally as much as they can every week. Whereas even if you're starting, we can just go 5, 5, 5, 5. So you're still progressing, doing the minimal amount to be improving.
Yeah, and I also think though that the jump will depend on what it is.
Oh yeah.
So if you're doing a deadlift, 5 kilograms is nothing. Like you could just chuck on 5 kilograms and you'd be fine. If you were doing shoulder press or bicep curl, 5 kilograms could be what you can do. Like 5, that's it. So adding on 5 is going to be double. It's too much. So with something like that, maybe you're looking at half a kilogram or even 1 kilogram, or just 1 more rep even would work as well. So we've got progressive overload. Now you know what it is. Rest until
that's the second one.
Rest until fully recovered. Now, I am the queen of rest.
She is. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, like 5 to 8 minutes. That's it. I'm like, my muscles need to be ready to rock. Like I'm not pulling out early. I'm going for it. Gonna warm them up, get them going, and then make it worth it. So 8 minutes is too much, right? Depending on the lift will depend on how much time you need to recover. And this is really important. And fair enough, me and Cam were talking about this earlier, about when I go to the gym, I will look at my fitness pal. Sometimes I'll message clients, and I'm not paying attention to the amount of time I'm resting. So sometimes I'll just be like, 30 seconds, okay, let's go. And then other times I'll be like in a message or wherever, and it'd be like 10 minutes and I haven't done anything. By which time my muscles have started to cool down, the intensity's dropped a little bit, my sort of amp has gone a little bit as well. But then there are people who go, no rest, 30 seconds, 20 seconds. This is it. Typically people are used to classes and not building muscle. HIIT classes, Tabata classes, like get rid of that shit out of your brain. Get rid of it. You want to do, we normally say 1 to 3 minutes. Okay, so 1 minute for maybe a bicep curl, 3 minutes to 5 minutes maybe, depending on rep range, for like a deadlift. You can do the same program forever, or maybe not forever, for 9 months, and you just change the tempo, you change the rest period, you change the sets, you change the reps. Just by changing those 4 things one at a time, that is a different program, even if it's the same exercise, and that will get you better results as well. So rest until fully recovered, 1 to 3 minutes. What should you focus on when it comes to, what should you prioritize? The actual lifts themselves, compounds over isometrics. Cam mentioned doing bicep curls first because he wanted to grow his arms. But generally, you want to be putting, most of the time, you want to be putting your effort into your compound lifts. Compound lifts are lifts that are multi-jointed. For example, a squat is an ankle, a hip, and a knee movement, okay? Whereas the bicep curl is just an elbow. Make sense?
Yes.
Cool.
So yeah, more compounds than isos, bigger bang for your buck. We haven't all got loads amount of time, so that's what we want to be doing. So the next one is controlling the eccentric part of the lift.
What is that?
So that's usually like the lengthening of a muscle. So they're usually like the going down part of most lifts. So if we think you're at the top of a deadlift and you're lowering down, that's eccentric. So you're lengthening your hamstrings. If we've gone up to the top of your shoulder press and we're coming down, we're on your shoulders. So this is coming down. If you do a lat raise, that's going up. Eccentric is controlling it down.
So it's the second part of the movement, would you say?
Yeah.
Depending. What about squats?
Most of the time. The squat is lowering, so it's like the lowering phase.
So it's the easier part, basically, isn't it? It's the easier part of lift because you can kind of like relax into it.
I'd say it's more of the harder part of the lift.
Do you think?
It depends what it is.
Well,
if it's a shoulder press, but if you're doing it under control, it will be harder than the concentric, generally. Harder than going up. If you're controlling going down. So most of the damage in most lifts is done in the eccentric portion of a lift. So when you're doing like a lat pull down and you just go struggle, woo, struggle,
whiplash.
Whiplash, you're not working the movement to the best. You're missing out a major portion of the exercise.
50%.
So again, Faye talked about tempo, and that basically helps you control your eccentric lifting. So I'll go 2 seconds down, 3 seconds down, 1, 2, 3, 1 second pause, and I'll go 3 seconds back up, 1, 2, 3. So that is giving you much more full control. You're going to contract the specific muscle much better than being like, ooh.
Yeah, and it's also unsafe. Like you can like pop out your shoulder doing things like that. Don't do it, guys.
So yeah, don't just give up, especially on the deadlift. Like that's a really good example. You picked it up and then you just drop it. So don't drop it, control it down, because this is going to, in a very basic term, give you more muscle damage to create more and better gains, because you're controlling the full lift. We're not doing half the lift and then just dropping it. So that's the main part.
So we're gonna skim through these last two because we're already late for our client call. So the first part is train to failure sometimes. Check where you're at. So we did a client event on the weekend where more advanced clients trained to failure to see where they could really push themselves. Obviously, you need a spot, ideally, for something like this to keep safe. So if you think you're stop moving. It's my head, don't I? If you think you can only push 10 reps, but actually you could push 15 to 20, then you're under training. So you really want to be seeing how far you can push, not just rep wise, but the actual weight as well. And the final part is your nutrition to support the training. So maybe we'll do next week like how to eat for a good workout.
Do like pre and post training, shall we?
Yeah, and general. Yeah. What should your diet include? Yeah. Hello, let's do that. All right, guys, that is it. We hope that you can now create a magnificent plan that is going to give you the best results ever. So these are all the things you need to consider. Go back and watch part 1. This is part 2. Have a bloody fantastic rest of your week, and we'll speak to you soon.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.